individual player, and that you need constant change to have constant improvement.
Yeah. We're getting into the ban phase at the moment. Are there any sort of special trends that you notice within the South African scene that might differ to the international scene as to what heroes they love or hate?
Bravado's got an affinity for Mirana, which did have very, very huge international popularity in
Mm-hmm.
recent times, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick that out. It's also Bravado are very good. Both players, Scant and Seam, are very good at assessing like how well a game is going. Like the three of them I've often heard them talking
Mm-hmm.
Dota, talking theory crafting, and they're very good at understanding how far ahead they are, when they're ahead, and what to do when they're behind. That said, you have people like Klitzy Bananas and Shanks who are both very, very good at farming. They're both incredibly strong in team fights and
Okay.
some huge plays. So I think that what we'll see is Bravado will play a more tactical way of playing the game, whereas Energy might go for the pure skill, the pure, the skill, high skill cap heroes.
Do you think that maybe one team will be more interested in finishing it sooner rather than maybe composing a lineup of heroes that are better towards the late game? Or do you
I
think we
think
could see very early action, lots of kills before the 10-minute mark, and maybe even the whole game decided by the 20-25-minute mark?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either side wants to sit back and just let it turning into a farm game because
Mm-hmm.
they know how close it is. They know how easy it is for a game to get out of control. And at the same time, they really, really, I mean, as many professional players have said, especially Puppy, the longer the game goes on, the more variance there is in the outcome. If you take a game very late, like a small mistake by
Mm-hmm.
anyone on a side could mean their downfall. And teams that are ahead, there's always that incentive to end early.
So we've got Alchemist and Timbersaw here picked by Energy Esports. Alchemist, I mean, can be played as a support, often also played as a carry. Do they tend to play Alchemist as a support ever, or do you think they've already picked their farmer?
I think Timbersaw is most likely going to be their off-lane
Mm-hmm.
hero or safe lane if they, depending on what the matchup's going to be. I think Alchemist is very rarely played as a solo mid here in the South African scene compared to the Chinese scene. More as a support, but
Okay.
given the fact that they've got Timbersaw, I think that it'll be a carry. The stun synergizes very well with Timbersaw's ultimate. And Bravado have gone for very classic heroes. I mean, Clockwork and Visage. Visage, so strong, and it's so versatile in whatever laning they want to set up. I mean, they could go aggressive, they could go defensive. There's a lot of offers in laning compositions for both sides at the moment.
At the moment, to my less experienced mind, it does look like Clockwork, typical off-lane Visage, maybe typical support down on the safe lane, supporting maybe whoever their carry might be.
Yeah, certainly. But Clockwork can also be a very effective mid against Alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
You're really in no position to get killed because you have cogs. You can also use cogs to harass him. He doesn't have a huge mana pool, so it can be a very effective 1v1. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be their off lane, and
Yeah.
Visage is going to be part of some sort of tri lane, whether it be aggressive or defensive, or they could go dual lanes. I mean, Bravado. All the players in both sides are old school players,
Yeah.
and as a result, they'll have a lot of experience in kind of before tri lanes became popular, before that craze hit, and they'll have a lot of experience. They might be inclined to go for dual lanes, and actually, by Bravado's last ban of their Lich, I think that there's a very strong chance that they actually want to just go with a tri lane or with a jungle hero and play
Okay.
2-1-1-2.
Fair enough. Guys, if you are tuning in and wondering what's going on, it is the DotA2 for South African scene between Bravado Gaming and Energy Esports being casted. I have my resident pro, I'll call you, Knoxville here, who's basically helping this simple-minded Quaker along with the commentary. So basically, my job is really going to be to ask questions to Knoxville, maybe point out some more obvious things for viewers who might be new to Dota. And Knoxville, he's going to say the smart things and make me look stupid.
I would never make you look stupid.
So Alchemist could go support now with this Luna around.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
interesting.
definitely could, and that's kind of the versatility. I mean, you never want to draft yourself into a corner, and everyone here is kind of drafting very interesting. Oh, Viper getting picked up. That's also a very strong hero against the Alchemist.
I see. Is Viper likely to be a mid here, or do you think
Yeah,
they might have him safe lane?
I think it's very strong against both Alchemist and Timbersaw should they mid, but Timbersaw likely offlane. It's also a very strong hero just in mid-game team fights, and if you see, Clockwork is very strong mid-game team fights. Once he picks up a mech, or if he's rushing drums and something, the Visage is going for the mech, for example. I think that mid game is currently where the draft is looking at the moment. In terms of bans that came out, we saw the Invoker ban, which is a respect ban for Seam. They've been playing a huge
Yeah.
amount of that.
Okay.
And Bravado's other team also has a very respectable Invoker player in the form of Odu. So both Bravado teams very happy with that. The Bristleback and the OD ban. I think the OD ban was just because it does huge damage, pure damage, and it also does huge magic damage. And both of those are something that, given the Visage and the Clockwork, the nukes from OD destroy the Visage familiars very quickly. And it's just a strong hero to get away from Clockwork. It naturally goes 4-star.
Okay.
It's naturally very mobile. I think that mid game is where Bravado wants to be. Energy have got the lineup that can go late game though. They've got the Luna, the Timbersaw, and the Alchemist, who even as a support, which it looks like he is going to turn into a late game carry should the game go on for 60, 70 minutes.
Right, well, we've got a Shadow Shaman as well. Got a lot of lockdown here, maybe something to help push the towers early as well with the Serpent Wards. There was a period of time in Dota where I wasn't seeing Shadow Shaman picked at all on a competitive level, and then since 6.79, Shadow Shaman seems to be rising in popularity once again.
Yeah, Shadow Shaman is, along with Lich, probably one of the best dual lane supports. It's very strong at picking off the popular off-lane heroes, namely Windrunner, Bounty Hunter, even Nature's Prophet to some extent. It's got strong push and counter push. And for those watching Starladder, they would realize that there's currently like a very common trend where you use the Shadow Shaman wards to be able to rush at a very early level. So once you hit level 6 on the Shadow Shaman, which is quite early if you're in a dual lane with it, it's just going to go straight into the rush pit, cast wards and keep aggro, and they can bring it down very quickly. This also opens up Bravado to going for something like a Chen as their final pick, which is a kind of a respect hero for scans. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ian maybe actually banning that out.
I find it surprising though, because what you always get in the European scene is Nature's Prophet banned super early on. Rat Dota, at its worst, some people might like to say, just get rid of the Nature's Prophet. But they haven't done this, and I won't be surprised if we see Nature's Prophet getting picked then over the best of 3. Looks like we've got a Gyrocopter being removed. It looks like maybe Energy Esports are expecting Bravado to go for a pretty hard carry hero next as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised for Bravado not to do that and just run run like the Viper, maybe Viper.
Do you think
Shadow
the Viper?
Shaman
Do you think Viper might end up being a hard carry, or I feel like there's one big hero missing from Bravado.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see Podem, and I'm a little bit surprised it hasn't been banned yet by Energy. I think the thing with Nature's Prophet is that when the Energy players were, before the like huge shuffle around, we did see that for Energy Esports, it was Flares or Donny who was playing that Nature's Prophet. So they've got a huge amount of experience in that lineup, and all of those players have now moved to Bravado. So when Bravado were Bravado and Energy were Energy before the mix, LGP and Shanks played as weren't really the big players of Nature's Prophet. Zero plays support, and Random Hero is probably going to be playing off lane. I think I'm not 100% sure what the roles of Energy are going to be, because they have been experimenting a little bit. But
I'm very interested actually who exactly their mid player is going to be. I'd imagine Timbersaw off lane, then might have a tri lane on the safe lane. But I can't.
It'll either it could be support. Alchemist, and it could be mid Alchemist. It depends. Yeah, it's between the Mirana.
Mid Mirana possibly. Could work. I guess they got options right now, so it's not totally clear to Bravado what exactly they'll do. So if they did want to mess with their mind, they could maybe switch around a more standard pick, maybe have a Luna in mid. I mean, they've got a few things that work for that.
I think the Luna is going to be in the hands of Klitzy Bananas, and it's going to be whatever the safest hero possible, like safest lane. That he is very good at hitting creeps.
Yeah.
And I think he's not as good as some of the other carries like Shanks himself was in 3v3 situations. So I think that they're going to put the Luna safe lane with Klitzy Bananas, and they're going to play mid Mirana. I think that's most likely.
Okay.
It's also here that Shanks, should he be playing mid, which I think he is, will be very good at.
And it's like Juggernaut, man. Fascinating. I love this hero. This is going to be the last pick for Bravado Gaming, so we'll be getting into the match in just a moment as they pick their heroes. Have you got any favourites looking at the lineups at the moment? Anyone you'd favour with their drafting?
I think there's a lot more pick-off potential on the side of Energy Esports. They've got a lot more lockdown, a lot better team fights. but the mid game could be too much for them. Bravado have got excellent heroes in the mid game. Viper, Juggernaut, Clockwork, Visage, and Shadow Shaman. I mean, all of these are very, very strong in the mid game.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Energy Esports. Looks like we've got Random Hero here on the Timbersaw, Glitzy Bananas on the Luna, as you pointed out, LGP on the Alchemist, Shanks Marana, and we have got the CM played by Axra. Am I saying it right?
Zero.
Okay. Is that his Twitter then?
Yeah. He's a regular tweeter with the big Dota friends. Okay. All the big pro players he just tweets at, and he has about a 5% response rate, so he's doing good.
And let's go over to Bravado Gaming, as they currently trade into each other's jungle. We've got Flares on Juggernaut, we've got Visage played by Lightsong, Donnie on the Clockwork, Seam is on the Viper, and stand-in. Which stand-in is this? Because I know it's from their Bravado's second lineup that they've also got in the DGL.
That's Chosen One, also known as Jumanji. He was in the original Bravado, and he moved into Bravado's like the other Bravado team after the change. Only Scant Lightsong remained in like this Bravado team, and so it was a huge change. And out of 2 teams came 3 with some friends. So yeah, big changes.
Fair enough. So the shout out to Congo Carl as well, doing the stats for us here on this show match. He's going to hopefully be posting some interesting things up on the sidelines. We've got here double damage at the beginning. It was nice to see right at the start both teams going into each other's jungle. I guess they were trying to ward up. It looked like Bravado were kind of expecting maybe to find one of the Energy players there to get a quick pick off at the beginning, but no traps being for any players falling for. Now this comes the bit which I'm most anxious about. I cannot miss the first blood. Okay. You gotta make sure this doesn't happen. It'll be a bad omen if I miss it.
Well, we do see a smoke gang coming out pretty early here. LGP has got Unstable Concoction, Zero's got Nova, so they're looking for a kill. And Stand-in is going to get caught out here. It's very slow, 285 base move speed. They does get pinged out though straight away.
But there might be someone in a bit of trouble over here. We've got Flares. Is he going to be having his Whirling Blaze in a second? Oh, and Alchemist is going to be stunning himself, and it looks like Juggernaut going to be able to survive the first gank.
Yeah, as I said, I mean, Bravado, well, any team that scans and plays a very greedy early game. And in this case, you can see him running around, picking up runes, doing some scouting. Hasn't really contributed at all to the game, other than just scouting around so far.
Fair enough. We've got a couple of heroes here. Alchemist is actually sitting on the off lane with Timbersaw, and maybe taking a little bit of that experience. Is he maybe looking for another chance to land a stun? Because I think maybe he could go get some XP down at the bottom, or...
I think it's a combination of the two. He's got level 1 concoction, so as a result, he can't go do something clever like start stacking the ancients. But what he can do is he can stand top, get some experience, and also provide some safety to Random Hero. Until Random Hero is level 3-4, he might be under a little bit of pressure, especially with this very strong dual lane, and they don't know where Scant is, so it could be even worse. So Scant's going to be doing some counter warding here, one to set up some control. And it's kind of turning into this 2v1 and 3v2 situation. Donnie's getting a lot of experience out of this, and if you notice his skill build, he's gone 2 in Battery Assault and 1 in Cogs. This means if he catches Zero out anywhere, it'll be like a sure kill on Zero.
Yeah, he's not got the flares to detect or anything at the moment.
Yeah.
He's just maybe looking for an early pick-off. But, I wonder if he's going to get any rotations around to him to help him out. This could be a little dangerous.
They want to set it up for, safety for Random Hero, just so he gets level like 4 or 5, and then they're going to be able to rotate around. Once he's able to walk into a lane, be able to throw out a Whirling Death, harass flares down, and also have mana and HP to always get away with the Timber Chain, he'll be fine. He'll be getting a lot. And nice counter warding happening by Scantia, so they're going to get the 3 minutes spawn on this camp.
I'm just checking out a lower lane at the moment. There's not really much pressure going on over the map, to be honest. I saw a bit of damage coming from the Viper onto Shanks, but it's kind of, Timbersaw's been left on the top lane. Alchemist's gone elsewhere now, so Timbersaw should be getting a decent amount of experience. But it feels like they're just feeling each other out a little bit.
Yeah, this is certainly I think the first game between these two teams. Bravado is currently a little bit ahead in terms of last hits between their cores. You can notice them sitting at 1 and 2 on the last hits.
Oh, here we go. We've got a stun here on the clockwork. He might be in a lot of trouble. There's 3 heroes who've got more moves. Those cogs going to be helping a little bit, but he's surely going to. He might turn it around onto Steve Bernard. Almost got him down. Is he going to get the kill? That was awfully close to going horribly wrong. But well played by Energy Gaming to be able to pick that one up.
Yeah, first blood going their way.
I was terrified for Klitzy Bananas, man.
Yeah, Klitzy Bananas, I mean, Luna's a very fast hero, and he had boots, so unless he died to the cogs, or the rocket flare, which got leveled up, he was always going to be in a situation where he could get out, provided he, just microed effectively. And he's going to be solved up now. This is going to be a good start for him. It's going to let him catch up a little bit to the Juggernaut. He's 4 or 5 creeps behind in that regard.
Yeah, the Viper actually looking pretty good in mid, in fact. He's got twice the current CS that Mirana does. So actually, yeah, Viper is having a really easy time. And now maybe Mirana trying to put a little bit of pressure on, trying to clear him away. Get a couple of denies. Last hits, who knows what.
Any lane against Viper is a very, very hard lane. And that's not really a huge concern, though, for the Mirana. Because once he's got Bottle Up, maybe Treads or Phase Boots, he's able to move around the map very effectively, get some stacks, and use his Starfall.
We've got a big chase happening up on the top lane. Oh, we've got here we got Shadow Shaman locking him in place. There comes a nice little Nether Strike, but Timbersaw is going to be falling there. He got chased all the way down to the tier 2 tower, and Flair's almost actually dying himself, but they managed to lock that one down decently. I'm very surprised Timbersaw let it happen.
Did you see the range on that shackle? He was mid to mid chain. Huge range. And they're just waiting for the top wave to push in a little bit here. They're going to be able to put down a couple of levels of healing ward once it gets 1 or 2 more levels up, and
oh dear,
you're going to be just fine. That's the problem, is also the pushing potential is quite huge from Bravado in the mid game.
Structures are fortified.
Yeah, I wonder if Bravado maybe going to get themselves a little bit of money early on and just get an early advantage going for themselves. We here got quite a lot of defense coming from Energy Gaming.
Yeah, I think the Crystal Maiden is also going to be getting a lot more gold out of this mid game than Scant is. I mean, they're both sitting at about the same level, but Zero's able to very effectively jungle just with that 1-1-1 that he's got at the moment. If he gets a second level up in Arcane Aura, it's going to be so huge.
Yeah,
and the
definitely.
Problem is that Klitzy Bananas is going to be under a little bit of risk once Clockwork hits 6.
We might be getting a solo kill, basically. Shanks does get shackled, but they are going to be able to pick up a kill on the Visage. Shadow Shaman now in a little bit of trouble as well, maybe coming from the wrong direction then. Mirana, is he going to be able to chase down? We've even got the South coming out as well. And Juggernaut comes in for a little bit of support. Just pushing back Energy Gaming. That could have been a lot worse, in fact, for Bravado.
I think a wise decision to back out like they did from both sides. And we see him doing a rotation, and he's got Phase Boots up, which is a little bit weird. Oh, sorry. Missing a kill on bottom. Zero getting picked off.
Oh, wow, yeah. And as you said, that build that Clockwork had been taking, definitely going to be helping out a great deal for him. And now we're going to get a little bit of a rotation here. Alchemist, he's been wandering around the map for a lot of the time. Here he's going to surely get a stun. Luna going to be there to support. We got the poison, but they don't really fancy diving the tower.
Yeah, I mean, Cogs is just such a strong spell to have in a defensive position like that. Can turn it around, and even if they get the kill on him, it's not worth it if there's a cross kill that goes onto the Luna.
Yeah, Luna just going to stabilize the farm, looking for error-free, basically, get as much money as possible. I won't be surprised if Klitzy maybe doesn't join too many big team fights till the 15-20 minute mark. Yeah, I guess Helm of the Dominator, BKB, some of the core items.
Yeah, we'll be able to see what the Energy have got as a plan going in the next couple of minutes, because Luna could go for their drums and skip the Helm of the Dominator, just go drums into BKB, and that's an indication that they want to have a couple more mid-game team fights, which they're also, not very bad at as well. They've got Mirana ulti to set them up. They've got good AoE stun and AoE damage.
Let's have a look. We've got 3 heroes on him. Viper, there's going to be some TPs in, but Viper is going to drop before they arrive. LGB though with a nice little gank. He can't make it out. There it is. Shadow Shaman getting the strike down, and Alchemist will fall. And CM dropping again. I missed out on that.
This is very, very signature of the Energy core, doing very fast TPs. It's something that's very hard to deal with, because you always want to make pickoffs, but you can never make a pickoff in a situation where you're going to lose 2 heroes in response. I mean, solo mid for 2 supports, questionable. It's probably still better to have the solo mid dead. especially Seam, who had so many creeps. It gives Klitzy a chance to get back in. But
Yeah.
you there's never no such thing as a free lunch, and certainly no such thing as a free pick in Dota 2.
Well, I guess early game getting the 2 supports probably quite nice. I think maybe later on, those mid or the carry heroes are going to become far more valuable really to keep alive. But CM though already died twice, I believe. Has got a kill and an assist. But he's going to want to be a little bit more efficient now. I'm going to check out Juggernaut with those phase. And he has got his Orb of Venom as well if you can get into close range combat with any opposing heroes. Do you think we'll get an Aghanim Scepter, or do you think he's going to go a little bit more damage oriented? It looks like he's going to be going for drums.
Yeah, it'll be drums, and most likely Aghanim Scepter, that's the standard. But he might sneak in a Yasha or a Desolator before that. Oh, some smoke at the bottom lane. Donnie's revealed, but Standon's looking to do some scouting. Oh, Mirana ulti is in response, and now it's Standon who's actually potentially in a bit of trouble here.
Is he going to be able to make it away? He might be getting caught out in a second, but CM though sees the Viper, doesn't want to commit too hard, and actually just going to TP out. That Viper will slow him down, and he doesn't want his third death to happen so soon. Oh, we got a kill up on the top, up in mid lane. Sorry.
Engagement in bottom as well. Klitzy gets caught out.
Eclipse
just goes off straight away though, and Viper strike onto Klitzy. This is going to be a kill for him.
Is he going to be able to get it? There it is, the last hit on it. Viper being able to avenge his comrade's death. Are we going to get more turnarounds? Viper's going to be going in deep here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get out.
Ooh,
there's the TP, the stun coming in. Oh, he's just going to be making it out in the nick of time. That was very close.
Very important that he TP'd to base. If he TP'd to any tower, another half a second would have actually definitely caused him to die.
Yeah. We've got Mirana back into the mid area. Oh wow, look at that. Starfall is going to be hurting Fles so badly.
Yeah, look how much the Mirana's caught up now. He's only 10 creeps behind the Viper, and he's got Bottle, he's Bottle crowing. He's going to be a very easy time for him to catch up and grab a couple of core items. He wants his cart though.
Do you think Shanks is going to be looking to hit some of those miracle arrows, or is he going to be properly farming, do you think, throughout the game?
I don't think he needs to really. I mean, they've got great setup with the Crystal Maiden and the Alchemist and the Luna, even with the mini stun. But remember that, like, oh, here we go. See, Shadow Shaman messing up his. He messed it up. He didn't cast it at the right place. So.
Is he going to get caught out with this? There isn't really any warding from Energy Gaming on the Roshan. I mean, they've got the Sentry ward, but that's not going to see much unless they've got the hero nearby. Yeah, and Energy Gaming is going to check it, and he's noticed that Shadow Shaman did try something fancy, but didn't make it work.
A little bit to be expected, given that S4 did this very recently. I think it was S4 actually. It might have been a couple of other players as well. But they're not really concerned. They're going to have Mirana ulti up in a few seconds. They're going to be able to make a play. But
there's a play from the Clockwork diving in. CM's going to fall very quickly, but Shadow Shaman equally fast. And here's the chase from the Clockwork. Is he actually going to be able to take him down? Luna having to run away. And other creeps getting in the way also. Klitzy losing a lot of health, but he wants to see if he can fight back now that Timbersaur's supporting him.
Yeah, I think that Timbersaur TPN was maybe a little bit premature. Does give him a salve though. And I don't know if you noticed, but he dropped his bracer on the ground. It means that you get, like as you pick up and drop items, it's all percentage based, so you get more like effective HP by dropping your HP items. So quite a neat little trick.
A lot of players doing that so that bottle or whatever's more effective.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, Mirana ultied and Seam is standing right there, so this is going to be easy back from the Bravado team.
Yeah, they notice Alchemist is going to be stunning himself here. Lots of invisible heroes, but they're not really able to push in and do anything. Viper still chilling here.
Gonna get caught up.
Oh my god. What a move there. They knew something was fishy. A great play we've seen by Energy Gaming, and Viper's going to drop. It's a lot of poison damage onto the Alchemist, but he should be able to survive through that one. That was just great game awareness, I think.
Yeah, Zero just making that clutch decision. Could have been a waste of some gold, but instead very effective. Yeah.
That's one of the big plays we've seen this game so far, I think. Are there any kind of players you think that we should watch out for in either of these two teams? I mean, who are the real playmakers, do you think?
I think that the big players are going to come from Flares in the mid game. I think he's going to be like control the tempo of the game, especially with the ulti that once he's got Aghanim Scepter up, if he goes that build, it'll be, deciding fights in a huge way. Remember also when he ulties, he can't get killed by the Luna ulti. So in terms of 1v1 capability, I think that alone is a reason that Clitzy Banana should maybe pick up a creep. It's going to just tank, half or a couple of even one Aghanim's bounce is very, very effective. And once again, we see Shadow Shaman messing up with the wards.
They might be trying to make plays here onto the Roshan. We've got an arrow coming in. It's going to be hitting that big beast. And now Alchemist looking for a stun. Shadow Shaman, he's going to drop again. His support's not having a lot of fun so far. And Alchemist, all this roaming that he's been doing is paying off a huge amount.
Yeah, that said, Bravado about 2,500 gold ahead. It's 14 minutes, so it's not a huge amount. But, it is still a significant amount. In terms of hero levels, you can see it's pretty even with Bravado's 3 cores having level 9 along with the Marana, and it's just Clitzy Bananas that's level 11 from Free Farm.
Those familiars doing a lot of damage to Zera. We have got a T1 that has finally fallen up on top lane. So Energy Gaming need to
bot lane also taking a lot of pressure.
Yeah, actually, this has been pushed forward quite a long way, but Clitzy kind of hesitant about making a move forward. Doesn't want to get cut up, but he's going to go now. The denial comes in. So frustrating. And now look at this. We do have the Marana ulti. And is there going to be an eclipse? He might drop. This is a good follow from Donny, but he's going to give up on it. And Clitzy's going to be able to survive and fall back.
Yeah, but Marana ulti being used defensively at the same time they're looking to engage mid. Here's Shanks just moving forward, revealing himself. Seems build means that he's not as tanky, I think, as the Wazmac Viper build that I like to call it. He's also one of the well-known South African players. Just the stock standard tanky items, strength treads, bracer, and then you go for your BKB with a mech thrown in if you need to be the mech carrier. Yeah. He's gone for the phase boots, and he's gone for a wraith band as well as opposed to the bracer. So, a little bit more DPS orientated, a little bit less tanky, but at the same time, that might be what they need to win team fights.
Well, we're 16 minutes in basically, and everyone's really gone to the mid area. And there are some familiars. They're trying to get that extra gold, and they will be able to get it. Every little helps here. But
Shanks is also maxing out his arrow, so sometimes you see a second level coming up in Leap. It gives you a little bit of extra movement speed, but most importantly, it drops the cooldown by 4 seconds, which in a team fight, that's normally the difference between one Leap's initiate and 26 seconds later using it to get out.
Yeah.
But he's gone for the maximum aggressive build really on Marana. Maxing out arrow, and the cooldown's the same, it just does 90 damage more. It's not really, huge scaling.
Well, that arrow could do a lot of damage if it hits a small character. We've got Hex onto LGB. He wants to get that stun away so he doesn't stun himself. Here's the Eclipse from the Luna. And then we've got the Juggernaut with the whirling blades here. And it is Energy Gaming who are losing a ton of heroes. Clockwork's going to be falling as well. And is there going to be Marana? Is there going to be the full team wipe? They've got the familiars after him. They might be able to finish him up, but Flares comes in for the final blow. And Bravado getting a big win in this instance. And just when that mid tower's being pushed in, now they can just turn it around and get Energy Gaming's mid tower instead.
Yeah, and also what you have to say is where the team items really coming out here for Energy. Their mech, there is no mech even started. The Alchemist went for Medallion, and the Crystal Maiden's going for Urn. So it is really a situation where, Random Hero's going to take a lot of damage.
Why do you do that? He just lost the bulk of his health. But there is a stun on Juggernaut, so they might be able to turn it around. There's the Crystal Maiden ulti. Viper might be in a bit of trouble, gets the kill on Timber in the end, and is going to be able to flee.
Yeah, so what I was just really saying is the team items are coming forward for Bravado. They've got Arcane Boots up. They've got a mech up now on team, as you saw in that fight. And that's really what he needed. He needed that effective HP that it provides, and it does a huge amount in team fights, especially now from about the 15 to 25, 30 minute mark. Mech is so important.
Yeah.
LGP getting caught out here.
Oh, let's go have a look. Oh no, you're just in the middle of the war zone that you don't want to be a part of. Another death for him, and Energy Gaming starting to lose, quite a few heroes quite quickly. They really need to hold the defense line down.
Yeah, gold advantage shot up to about 5k difference, and while it's not while it's not really a huge amount at 20 minutes, it is still a considerable amount given that it was 2k a second ago. They need to cluster up and take some towers. They need to take this mid tower. They had bottom denied. That was like, what, 500 gold that just went to miss.
And this is maybe where you're going to start seeing those team swaps having an effect on the game. As you were saying before it started, Bravado might be favorited now. And look at that. 3-man stuns there with the Visage Familiars. But CM, is he going to drop with that poison? Whoop, and now can't scroll down here for a second. He's just going to be getting out with about 10 health or less.
Here comes a rocket. No, not going to hit.
Not going to make it this time round.
And at the same time, Bravado just split pushing. Flair's pushing bottom. He's gone for the Yasha. So now's really the time where we see what type of game Bravado wants to do for the next 15 minutes or so. Is he going to go Manta style? Is he going to go for MKB? Or is he just going to fall back onto the Ags? I think given the amount of AoE damage, Ags makes the most sense. The points booster and the Ogre Club, very, very helpful in terms of just tanking up. Even if it's just a Nova here or there, or 1 or 2 beams from the Eclipse, that's very important. And Luna's also hit level 11, which means that, well, she's been level 11 for a while now. But
that Eclipse is going to hurt a lot more.
Yeah, huge amounts.
I think that Luna just really needs that BKB as soon as possible. I'm really quite surprised that we haven't seen the Helm of Dominator picked. We're not really getting the ancient stacks that I may have expected from Luna. But hopefully Luna can get the farm going a little bit faster and be a more effective part of team fights.
It's a little bit risky given the fact that Visage Familiars are so effective at scouting.
Yeah.
And Bravado on the Dire side, which has the much safer ancients to farm than compared to the Dire. The Dire side is a very commonly warded spot. It provides vision of the top rune and throughout the mid area. And I think if you're on the Dire side, it's much easier to take advantage of the ancients and Rosh.
Oh, we've got some more stats coming up.
Yep.
And it is very popular on Viper. No, absolutely. I see it all the time now in competitive games. It seems to be one of those essential picks that you get. And we've got it here on Seam, in fact. The
reason that teams are doing it is it means, finally we see Bias standing doing it properly with the
There we are.
It's unlucky. But yeah,
not the first time, but the second will be okay.
It's just a hero that naturally can get it very early, and it provides a huge amount of...
there's the ulti. Omni Slash going to be getting a kill. Flair's looking good with the solo. A lot of experience for that. And he actually did go Manta. And there it is. Rosh has been taken as well. So plenty of gold going in the way of Bravado. Aegis yet to be taken though. It's like they're having a minor debate over who gets it.
Yeah, I think they're just protecting it for one of the carries. Probably Donnie to come pick up, I would think. Because he's the one who's always going to initiate. He's at the most risk. Yeah, it makes sense, I think, for him to pick it up. But yeah, I mean, he gets it so early, and it puts him in a position where they can team fight very, very early. And unless the enemy has, if the enemy's got a hero that naturally is going to go mechanism, like, I want to say, Keeper of the Light or a Jakiro, one of those signature supports for getting it. Visage is also quite a signature hero for getting mech. So is, I think, Clockwork. But when you're up against a team that has a support that's not a core going to go for it, it means that you're only going to get it around the 16, 17 minute mark. So if you get a very early mech, you can team fight much more effectively, much sooner, and that's what teams prioritize a lot.
We got TPs in mid, and we're still having top lane being pushed by Seam somewhat. But Energy Gaming got all their heroes in mid, and I feel like they maybe need to maximize a bit on the farming at this point. It's almost as if they feel slightly surrounded, as if they're being forced to make a move soon. There go Klitzy, going to get a lot of gold here on the top lane as well. But I mean, look, there's a lot of heroes kind of just standing around waiting for orders almost.
Yeah, both sides are doing it. Seam though is just lurking here in the bushes. He's got 4,200 gold. He should be buying something. The question is really, what should he be buying?
Yeah, what is it exactly going to be?
I think Necrobook is what they could go for.
Yeah,
there's no BK. Yeah, I mean they've been very strong in the pushing thus far. There hasn't been adequate responses by the energy lineup, and until Luna has that BKB, and possibly Shanks, it means that killing Necronomicon units is actually going to take like a quarter of his health to a third of his health.
Yeah. Oh, here's CM going to be in trouble getting the freeze down. Can he get the TP out? Nope. That's going to be a kill. They do manage to get the top tier 1.
Radiant's bottom tower
Is
has
it worth
fallen.
it there for losing out on CM?
Not for CM and the bottom tier 2.
Oh yeah, that's
Wards were dropped there, and
it would have been a trade otherwise.
Yeah, we're gonna see LJP just get caught out last
Oh
second.
my.
Juggernaut's Omni Slash does a mini stun on the first hit, which works through magic immunity. So even if you're in Enigma with BKB, that Donnie's surviving like 5
man.
HP.
That's crazy. Timbersaw trying to hook himself out, but he actually just gets the tree right next to him, so he just stayed in the cogs.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen a lot of Timbersaw being played by a random hero.
Yeah, lots of gold now. It's starting to extend quite a bit. I mean, you're still kind of safe to make a comeback as long as you stay within the 10,000, I think maybe 15,000 gold range, but it's getting more and more strenuous. I think I once saw a stat that was teams that are behind by 20,000 gold have usually 1.5% chance to actually make the comeback happen. That's how often it would occur.
Yeah, the guys on Dota Metrics had a full discussion on that. It's very interesting to see something like that, but remember that it is also quite hard to go high ground against Energy. They've got Timbersaw, they've got the Acid from Alchemist, they've got Nova and the Mirana, not to mention Luna who's going to have level 16 by the time they have to defend their racks, one would hope. So it's really just a situation where the way in which Bravado goes high ground is going to always be something like a question in their mind. They're going to be able to run forward and drop down the Shadow Shaman wards, but is that going to be enough? You know, are they going to be able to defend that? Are they going to be able to make picks?
Familiar stuns. If they get some pretty nasty familiar stuns, I mean, we saw 3-man stuns earlier on. If that happens again, then breaching high ground might start becoming more and more easy. But I mean, we'll see how it goes, how much Energy Gaming can hold the line. Got a pause happening over here. Okay, this is. If you guys are joining, wondering what's happened, this is the first Dota stream ever here on the Zoot Live channel. I am Zoot, and I am joined by Knoxville, who is my co-caster today. And yeah, I've just lost my Dota casting virginity, one might say. This is pretty intense, man.
I mean, it's a.
Come on, how am I doing? Am I doing all right? Marks out of 10. Don't say 1.
Well,
don't say 1.
So out of 10, where 1 is Toby and 10 is LD, you get Luminous 4.
A Luminous 4. I'm down with that. I'm absolutely fine with that.
No, I'm joking. I think very, very, very good for. I mean, you're obviously very well experienced casting DreamHack, big events. No. But
not Dota, man. It's not Dota.
Yeah. I think there was this one time when Joe Miller, I think, cast like some game he'd like never ever heard of or played, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
But he's a legendary caster. He can cast anything, man. He can cast tic-tac-toe. It'd be amazing. And Donnie, watching here. I didn't get the time on Rosh. I mean, I'm quite a novice at reading the clock, but I think there's not actually long until the Aegis is reclaimed.
Yeah, this new clock is something which confuses pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
I haven't mastered reading. I mean, the last one was pretty obvious.
Look at that. Alchemist just going to be dropping like a fly. Sure, there's going to be a little mini stun on flares, but he's not bothered. These Omni Slashes, they've been perfect. He's just been picking off one hero at a time with them. I think he's got like a 100% success rate. Viper just got his butterfly. We're seeing some big items coming out now. They're trying to breach the higher ground.
You can see his running towards the center of attention there. Viper Strike does go through BKB, so you can't really just go full YOLO. But this should be an easy defend, I think, for Ian. They've just got to take those wards down. Clissy Bananas gets gone in, sheeped up.
That's not good. It's good they've dropped the heroes. I don't even know if there's going to be a buyback. Juggernaut, they're just pushing back a little bit. Alchemist coming in with a stun. Timbersaw, they actually get a pick off on Visage. So finally gets some return, but it's Crystal Maiden dropping once more. Mirana very nearly dead, but I think they might fall back now. Bravado's got to be careful. You know, the two big players are on very low health. And that stun actually might be the end of Viper. They could get themselves another kill here. Oh wow. Oh, and the arrow is going to be missing as well. In Bravado, they don't get the tier 3 like they wanted, but I think they did just fine in that.
Yeah, they traded favorably, and Donnie gets to push top tower.
I mean, look at that. They didn't even need him with them at that point.
Do it with flair.
He's also going BKB, which is an item that you normally would consider like not necessarily amazing on a Clockwork, normally you would prefer to go for the Aghanim Scepter, or if you're the first person to go mech, you know, obviously can get that relatively early.
Yeah.
But he's decided to go BKB. I think in this case, the specific case, it's a very wise decision. Almost all of the damage on the side of Ian is magical, except for the Acid Spray, which is, you know, a little bit of physical damage here and there.
Yeah.
And Luna's Glaives, and obviously the pure damage if a tree gets cut down. But I mean, there's so much magical damage that gets negated, and you can't get stunned by the Alchemist.
Yeah, and Alchemist done, once they kind of nullify that, it becomes a lot less terrifying, really, because then they've got the Crystal Maiden who can hold you in place. Mirana has to land an arrow, really, to get a stun. The mini stun with the Luna, you don't really need to take that into consideration. So yeah, they're struggling to find a lot of lockdown. I'm not sure what they'd be able to do in order to get that. They don't really have a hex on them or anything. And
Yeah,
looks like Donnie's gonna need to come back in a few. This is what they had a little bit of lag coming.
Yeah, the South African servers have been giving quite a lot of issues recently, but seems all good now. Yeah, there's no one who's really in any position. Like, no one has items on the EN side really. Timbersaw went mech for them, and he has arcane boots. He doesn't have a bloodstone.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything. Luna's sitting on BKB, as we saw from the fantastic stat provided.
Probably going for Yasha into a Manta now.
Yeah,
guessing.
And it's gonna. I mean, his BKB was 5 minutes late. He doesn't have Helm of the Dominates, and some of those stats, even as like on BKB timings, are like Treads, Drum, Helm of the Dominator, BKB.
Yeah.
So he's not really in a position. Zero is obviously a non-issue. So it's just like there's so much pressure, I think, on this Mirana to get a lot of DPS.
Yeah, and actually the Timbersaw has died the second most in the game, just after Crystal Maiden, basically. I wouldn't really expect Timbersaw to be one of those heroes that dies always. Such a lot of escape ways with his hooks onto the trees. I'm very surprised. I think Timbersaw may be underperforming a little bit on this one. I thought maybe. Certainly.
Yeah, sometimes you also see the second level coming up in reactive armor, and given the fact that those Visage birds are constantly going to be hitting you, it means that you get an extra free, extra free HP regen per second, extra free for armor. You know, it would be good, I think.
Yeah, and the golden XP is starting to get a little bit out of hand. I wonder really how much longer Energy Gaming can survive. I mean, what advice would you give them right now to make it back in this? I think they've got to count on almost errors from Bravado.
Yeah, they do have to make. I think that they're in a position where they have to either rely on Bravado making mistakes, and that doesn't necessarily mean like walking in and all AFKing while getting killed. I think it means that they should be looking to maybe smoke up, pick off specifically in places where Bravado can't respond to a team fight. So
yeah.
You know, the top areas here, there might be someone just lying there being a little bit greedy, but the thing is that, you know, do they have the DPS to bring down a hero? Juggernaut can always just spin and TP, and he's out.
Exactly. And Donnie as well. Well, he's surely going to be becoming a little bit tacky. He's kind of really the only hero I've noticed who's kind of standing on his own at any point, pushing any lanes solo, whilst the others are grouped up together trying to force down the lower tier 3. But I don't know, because it feels like we've got to split our priorities. Okay, we want to go and get some pickoffs, but we're so busy defending the whole time.
Yeah, they need to also make sure that they don't all stand as a group and like watch Zero farm. I mean, Clitsy Banana's farm, because you know Zero's currently in a situation where he's level 10. His ultimate at level 11 does do quite a lot more damage, but he's always going to get picked off, if not by the Rasta, then maybe by the Visage or Clockwork. There's a lot of like intermittent damage that can come through, and he's basically got to rely on, you know, getting good positioning and maybe dropping an ulti. But I think it's a lot more important that they just let Clitsy Bananas get up to level 16. His ultimate's gonna bounce, you know, a couple more times. It's gonna bounce another 3 times, and at the same time, it's gonna do, you know, the duration's longer. There are more beams, max hits on Scepter. So if he wants to go for a Scepter now, instead of going for that Manta style, they could use that maybe as a way to get back into fights. I don't think so, but you know, maybe it's all-in situation.
Yeah.
I definitely think that Crystal Maiden should buy 2 braces as soon as possible. Like, wards are
Tough up a little bit.
Yeah, they can't contest. Like, if Bravado buy a gem now and they just counter the whole map, which they can easily do with Visage familiars, then there, there there's no way for Energy to get back into this, really.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty bleak. I mean, really, Mirana is looking decent. Let's go have a look and around all the net worth. There we go. That's the stat that I was looking for. Yeah, I mean, Mirana is looking the richest here on Energy side. He's got the Chrysalis, Manta Star looking pretty. Luna hasn't really shone much. Sure, had a couple of interesting plays at the beginning of the game, but it's just the farm has not been so effective, not been so efficient. I think that Clockwork's really been good at just slowing Klitzy down. And also there was a couple of deaths, Viper getting down in the bottom lane. Yeah, I mean, Klitzy hasn't had a perfect match.
Yeah, I think that the Donny. The problem with Clockwork is that he's so effective at one-on-one lanes, especially against heroes which aren't necessarily like with a great escape. You know, like they never blink or anything. So the problem with having a Clockwork bottom is that if he ever caught out either the support like Crystal Maiden, or he picks out the Luna, there's a situation where it's like almost definitely a death. You know, there's no defensive heroes on the side of Ian. They don't have a Shadow Demon or a Dazzle. They have nothing like that. So they're always going to be in a situation where they've got to constantly worry about their positioning. Whereas Bravado, not really that much. I mean, it's just the Rust that's been caught out a few times. And despite his early game feed, he's sitting on 3 for 3 for 6. He's managed to get up a 4-staff, which means that he can get out of tough situations.
He's got a bit of gold to play with as well.
Yeah, I mean, if there were rich supports on the side of Ian with 4-staves or blink daggers, you know, in a way in which they could get out of these tough situations, it would be a different story.
I gotta say though, I do really like seeing Juggernaut winning games. Something special tingles inside of me when I see Juggernaut winning. I don't know what it is. That hero just makes me smile every single time. And he's just massively farmed right now compared to everyone else. Sure, Viper close behind him. But I find that he's just so difficult to stop. He's 5-1-7. He's had an excellent game.
And he's gone back and got that Ag Scepter, so he's got both the team fight potential in terms of Manta Star, and once the dust is somewhat settled, the creeps are cleaved away or magicked away, he's going to be hitting everyone very, very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone on both sides is kind of playing well. I think that Bravado have done some things so much better that it's actually made Energy look a little bit like, I don't want to say foolish, but it looks like they've been outplayed a lot more than they actually have. They've been playing well, but they're just lacking items because of great responses by Bravado. Bravado doing the signature, you know, Energy 2-man TP to defend. It's not the most effective strategy if you're able to, you know, like disengage very easily. But given heroes like Clockwork, you just can't disengage easily. It's not an option really.
Yeah, Clockwork has actually come back now. Yeah, well, we'll see. And Energy Gaming, if they are going to be losing out on this one, they're going to have to think of ways to fix it for the next game. It is a best of 3 after all, so they can redeem themselves and win the honor and the pride and the glory. But yeah, Alchemist, I think was an interesting pick. He was wandering around the map a lot early game, sometimes with some failed ganks, sometimes successful. And I think if there were no failed ganks, then it could have been very different. But we've got a leap over here.
Oh, Donny having
nice
to use his
Donny.
hook defensively.
Yeah,
nice.
heard that one.
I mean, it wasn't a complete loss there for Ian. They defended the tower, denied the tower, and also managed to get Donny to waste his hook. So they got 60 seconds where team fights are going to be easy for them.
But,
I think they need a couple more.
Donny wasn't even a part of the team fights earlier on, and Bravado was still winning them.
That's true. But I mean, if you roll a dice enough times, maybe you'll roll a 6 once.
Yeah. Hopefully. I don't think they should base their gaming strategy on that. Let's just go full RNG.
Yeah, Bravado. Oh, maybe gonna get arrowed. Seam does get arrowed.
Seam, he's gonna get hurt, but he's gonna get 4 stuff out of there, and there's not really enough time for them to get there before Seam is gonna be live and kicking once again. And you can tell that they want to fight here, but they're cowering now. They know the stun's worn off, and BVD now running towards them. Flares, he just wants to go Rambo mode. So he can get a 5-man Omni Slash.
He's just baiting a little bit there.
And we can see mid get pushed down in a second.
Yeah, mid tower over here is very important that they defend. And if they don't defend it, they don't die because they don't have glyph for another 4 minutes. So they're going to do their best to slow this push down, do as much little chip damage that they can, reduce the chip damage that it gets taken. But yeah, Serpent Wards. Mm.
This should probably be able to take down the tower. I got Donny possibly looking for a hook at some point. It has. The cooldown is off.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah,
has
he's waiting in the
fallen.
wings here. Scant also going for that Ag Scepter as an item. And we see Seam is just once again up to 2,300 gold, so he's living the dream. I wouldn't be surprised to just see 2 sets of Necronomicons coming out now. Shadow Shaman actually has picked up the recipe for one, so that's his next item.
Nice.
And that makes Clitzy Banana's ulti so terrible.
Clitzy Bananas, there's ulti.
Yeah, because some of the balances are going to go Necro units.
Yeah,
Ooh.
of course. Oh,
Hook
here we
coming
go.
in.
Got a Hex on there. There comes the Omni Slash. We've got a stun on the Shadow Shaman. So they managed to get 1 kill, but let's see how this one's going to be falling out. We have got the cogs that have landed. Luna's down. There's the big carry. And they might have been able to force them back again. Oh, we've got a stun on Flares, in fact. Juggernaut is going to fall. Lovely work there from the Timbersaw, trying to redeem his performances earlier. And Seam, he might be stuck in the middle of things a little bit too far. But EN, they're already so weak, and they've got no more damage output. We've actually got a buyback from the Jugger.
Yeah, we also see Mirana getting brought down there. If he could have maybe timed his leap to dodge the Viper Strike, he'd be alive, and that would be a different, like, that would be almost a win for them.
Oh,
But,
I've actually got another
yeah.
buyback. I think Mirana kind of had to do that. He's one of the 2 main damage dealers. Luna is going to be down for another 10 seconds. Is this going to be enough time for Bravado to take down this tier 3? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, the most important thing there is that, I don't know if you saw, but Luna, Donny getting Flare stuck with him as well.
Oh no, the cogs are hurting him so bad. Timbersaw just keeps running into them.
Yeah, but Clitzy Bananas popped his BKB just before he died, so it means
I
that
did not
even if
see
he did
that.
have buyback, it would have been, oh, look, taking so much damage. They're sharing it out well now. Channeling up the stun.
All
Here
over the
comes
place.
Flares. Ooh, nice spinning as well.
Oh, but there's going to be the stun on the Shadow Shaman, so he's going to go down. Flares will save his life. And remember, if though Flares dies, he is going to be dead a long time as he just buy back. And actually, Ian are going to push forward.
Nice hold there by Ian. We also see Crystal Maiden picking up power trades, doing some nice counter warding, a little bit more for our Crystal Maiden friend here. But it's really just a situation where, like, that was like a comedy of errors from both sides there. Clitzy Bananas using BKB, panicking, using it was such a bad situation. It means that, like, no matter what, players could always buy back and come mid, and they would get like something out of it. And they did get something. It wasn't a complete reverse.
Oh no, a Hex here on Shanks. Mirana, is he going to fall? Going to leap away just in time. Bravado, I have to settle for being slightly worse off after that fight. EN were just using the short time they had. Yes, some freedom, liberation. We can just farm for just a few moments before they close us off again. And Roshan is back up. Bravado, surely going to be an easy one here. I don't even know if Ian's going to be able to challenge for this.
Yeah, they're not in a position to. We see Mirana had to go heal, and there's so much damage with all of the Bravado members there. I think Scant lost both of his birds in that engagement, so that's a lot of gold that went the way of energy just in that. But you're going to see Rosh taken down.
has fallen.
Yeah, I mean the gold graph going down a tiny bit. Slightly more in favour of EN, but they're going to need to win a couple more team fights really if they want to start evening things out a lot. But I like the fact they're managing to hold on, because it did look as if, you know, we were going to get a GG any minute.
The most important thing there was that Flares. Oh, here as we see an ulti coming forward here. Looks like they're going to try get. Oh, perfect hero for
Nice.
them to engage on.
Oh, we are.
Instantly
Shadow
brought
Shaman
down.
down immediately. There's going to be BKB and the Eclipse from the Luna. They're killing everyone right now. Viper's going to be dying. Flares, he's going to be in a bit of trouble as well, but actually Luna wants to back off. That was an amazing team fight here from Energy Gaming.
Excellent situation. And I don't know if you saw, but Zero got wonderful positioning to cast almost like an Aki style ulti on the side here. Flares is going to get brought down. This could be really bad.
Oh, Klitzy's got to be careful. He's so low, so they do get the kill on the Luna just in time. But it's going to be the 5-man. Flares will die. He does have the Aegis. Are they going to go for him again? They've got to be careful of those Visage Familiars. But look at that. Nice little stun work. And there should be enough deeps here to take Flares down.
Oh, yeah, I think he's going to die here. Unless we see some elusive
There we are.
players brought down. And he's dead for 74 seconds. The problem is that because of the Aegis and because of the fact that they all had to hang around there to kill him the second time, they're not going to be able to get anything out of this. I think that everyone's going to be alive and prepared to defend the second tower mid lane for the Dire. So no like objectives gained, but winning a team fight that convincingly, what was it?
Yeah.
5-1.
It's just
Great
satisfying
creature.
as well. Do you think that I've been told that maybe this is a little bit of a grudge match as well after seeing, you know, some changes in the team lineups? Do you think there's a little bit of extra pride on the side for whoever wins this show match?
Well, I think there is because
Oh, nice little
oh,
defensive arrow.
wonderful arrow. But yeah, there's no TP scroll, so LGP is gonna die here. He's just gonna try delay.
Oh wow. Alchemist, easy pick off here. But
He's
the
a
rest of
lowest
the team
level
gets away.
person. Yeah, he'll be back in time, I think, to defend mid.
But back to the question I was asking you about
yeah.
the feelings here between the teams. What do you make of it?
Well, there was like a little bit of animosity between some of the players on the Bravado side before the split,
Yeah.
but it like didn't seem to be like full scale war. Like, I mean, maybe they don't speak as much to each other and like not huge friends anymore, but like I don't think they like actively hate each other. I mean, there was always like Random Hero used to play in Bravado a while ago, or Wonderful Arrow hitting on scene, but I don't think they make anything of it.
No, I think they're going to back off after that one.
Yeah.
There's Manta popped, and they will be able
Yeah.
to get away from that. Oh, we've got Omni Slash. He's going to go down. And I mean, Flares might have to commit on this one. They do get the kill on Timber. Flares chasing a little harder. Here we've got the spin. Clockwork coming in. Shanks does get a leap away, but the Hex as well. Nice work here from Standin. But Glitzy does go in with the BKB. He's got the Eclipse. But there's just very little damage output coming back. And they're going to fall away. Bravado, they might have been team wiped before, but now they might be about to team wipe EN. Glitzy will get away before he was presumably going to die as well. And this looks like tier 3. And it just went so well to almost so
no
bad.
creeps. No creeps at the
Yeah.
moment, so they're backdoor region gonna just delay their efforts. Nobody's gonna respawn in time to defend mid. And Luna's certainly not able to defend by herself. Back to the thing, yeah, I think the statement, the comment by Congo is kind of good. It is like days of our Dota, you know, like obviously people, when there's changes, people feel that they're to blame or they feel other people are to blame. So you're always gonna get that like resentment, but I think it's for the better of South African Dota that this has happened, because it's made it. There's like more potential for, I think, both of these teams to do better internationally than before the change.
Okay.
And there's also Standen is, as I said, one of the players on the other Bravado team. His team is also like not to be trifled with at all. It kind of became a situation in SA Dota where those like the two teams, Energy and Bravado, before the remix, were like by far the best two, and everyone else was like, you know, once in every 20 games would take a victory off one of them. But I think that this is now very similar to that.
Oh, they've pushed in again over here. They just took down 2 lanes of racks. Viper will die, and maybe they're going to back off now. Sure, they've just profited hugely, but they don't want to start getting team wiped now because there's still some good fighting potential from Energy eSports.
Yeah, so I don't think that it's like anything to be like that concerned about, to be honest. I think it's like overall everyone understands it's a little bit better for SA eSports, and yeah, I'm okay with it personally.
Oh, Clock.
I'm friends with most of these players.
And look at that, we got a little bit of a dip here in the gold. It goes down, they reduced it to about 9,000 a difference, and it's gone all the way back down, over 14k. And actually, it is going to be GG's called, I think.
Yeah, GG. So the Energy have realized they're a little bit too far behind. Having 2 sets of racks is just, you know, it's very, very hard.
A big
very
advantage.
Yeah, very specific heroes can come back from it. I don't think that Energy can, you know, given their lineup.
There we go, guys. So, well, the first game is going to go the way of Bravado Gaming. And this is who you said was possibly the slight favorites now, even after all the team swapping that's been going on. And they look pretty good. How do you think we should summarize this match?
I think it was like Bravado were just too good in the mid game. In the early game, everyone made mistakes. Both teams had a couple of fail issues. I think that the least effective hero in the game was the Alchemist, not necessarily because of play, but just, you know, opportunities weren't there for him to make kills, and that was a huge concern.
Yeah.